Hello, in this video I will demonstrate how to make a histogram with a frequency table that is given. So here's a frequency table. What I want to do is go to the Stat button first, and in the Stat button I will go to Edit and enter my data. So in list 1 I will put the days absent. So students could have been absent no days, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days absent. And then the frequency, so it looks like there were 9 students that were absent no days. There were 12 students absent 1 day, 8 students absent 2 days, 4 students absent 3 days, 1 student absent 4 days, and 2 students were absent 5 days. So now that our data is in, I will hit second mode to quit out, right? Second mode is a very helpful button. It helps you get back to the main screen. Now, I'm going to go to the Y equals button, which is in the very top left, and make sure that everything is cleared out. So I'm going to go to Y equals, and I see everything's empty. It may be helpful to go all the way to the bottom. Just make sure that nothing is interfering with our histogram that we're going to make. Now, in a little bit here, we're going to make plot 1 turn on, but in order for us to do that, what we really have to do is go to second Y equals. So second Y equals, and I will go enter on plot 1, and I will hit enter on, and then the type. Now this is why we had to go into the menu using second Y equals, so that we can change the type to the histogram. So you can see here there's some scatter plots, line plots, and histograms and box plots and all sorts of stuff. We want the histogram type. Now, in this particular example, we do have an X list, which was our days absent, and we put that in list 1. The frequencies, though, we put that in list 2. So I need to go down to here. Right now, it's flashing an A. Really, that says that the alpha button is on, so we need to hit second 2, and then it'll put L2. And then I just hit enter to make sure it saves, and then I will hit second mode to quit back out. Now, the next button, we need to use the zoom button. So I'll hit the zoom button, it's in the top middle, and we need to arrow down to zoom 9. And zoom 9 is zoom stat. You can remember zoom stat by remembering that we put everything in the stat button. So zoom stat, this is what's known as the default window. Okay, this window that is made is the default window. So by hitting zoom 9, that is our default. Okay, moving on from here. If I hit the trace button, I can see the heights of the bars. Now this is our default, and you can see it goes from 0 to 0.8333 repeating, and the count was 9. So that relates to our days absent of 0, and the count was 9. Now here the n is 12, so that goes to days absent of 1. But then look, there's kind of a weird gap here, right? There's a gap, 4.16 repeating to 5, and there was no count there. And then we get to our final count with 5, where there was 2. So I'm going to make this look a little bit nicer. This is not the ideal picture that we want. So I'm going to choose a different starting point. Okay, and when I choose a different starting point, I'm going to go a little bit less than 0. So I'm going to go to negative 0.5, because it's a little bit below 0, but only slightly below. Then I'm going to pick a different ending point, and my end is going to go a little bit beyond 5, so I'll just go to 5.5, a little bit beyond. Now you can see here that there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars created. So now I'm going to still make 6 bars. But I need this to determine the width of the bars. To determine the width of the bars, you take the ending value, you subtract the start value, and divide by the number of bars that you want. So to get my width, I will take 5.5, I will subtract negative 0.5, and divide by 6. So I'll do second quit, I'll do 5.5. I will subtract negative 0.5, which will give you 6. And if you divide 6 by 6, well, that gives you a width of 1. So I'm going to create a width of 1. Now, in order to make all of this in the width of 1, I need to go to the window button. Okay, now window is right next to zoom, but window helps me with my xmin, xmax, and xscale. So xmin, I am going to change that to negative 0.5. The minimum for x is really your starting point. The xmax, I will change that to 5.5. Your max is really your end value. And then xscl, that's really x scale. It's the scale that you want to go by, or the width of the bars. Now I'm just going to make the width of the bars 1. Now ymin and ymax, that will bring either the screen up or down, however you want to look at it. But then, do not hit the zoom button anymore. You only have to hit the graph button now. So you just go to graph. Okay, just go to graph and do not touch the zoom button anymore. Now we have this, and then you can hit the trace button, and the trace button will hop on the bars nicely. And you can see that now you made a nice pretty picture. Okay. Now if you wanted or needed to change the Y values, which would bring the screen up higher, just hit the window button and change the Y max. Right now it's at 14. Well, let's just make it like 17. And I'll hit enter and I'll hit graph. And you can see that it brought it up a little bit higher here. And now you can see the top of that 12 bar a little bit better than what it was before. But you can adjust anything that you want. But by adjusting the xmin and xmax and the xscale, that helps with our bars that are created. Thank you for watching my video.